Welcome back to session 5 of the Total Performance Management series. Today we'll focus on the what versus the how. You may recall in session 4 we explored the distinct cultures of organizations that contribute to the likelihood of a rigorous process of goal setting, referred to as a metrics driven culture, or one in which there's far less emphasis on goal setting and more focus on opportunities, referred to as a creative driven culture. In this session, we'll shift our view on performance management to a different form of measure: what gets accomplished versus how work gets done. There's an old axiom that we often hire for skills and fire for behaviors. Let's explore that notion further and its implications that are influenced by the metrics or creative cultures noted in the previous session. In brief, what gets accomplished from a performance management perspective simply means there's a tangible method of identifying results. That is, one could likely apply the first two elements of the SMART model. You recall that SMART is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time bound application to any goal. In this case, the first two are specific and measurable. That you could settle out on what gets accomplished by constantly referencing the specific and measurable elements of the SMART model. It's not uncommon for companies that weigh too heavily on the results side of things will ultimately apply that focus on outcomes, diminishing the value and importance of behaviors. Let's consider the classic 9-box model as a form of reference, in this case applied to the what versus how dynamic. Note that high performance, as you look at this model, exclusively focused on tangible outcomes, can lead to poor morale among team leaders. In other words, team members, rather. That's on the left hand side, moving in an upward direction. High performance, but leaving a bunch of dead bodies in their wake. That's a form of poor morale or a team not necessarily working well because of the distraction of one's behaviors. No one wants to contend with, quote, the cancer on the team, the employee who demonstrates negative behaviors that impacts performance and morale. The 9-box model is a handy reference so that you can use this as a way of distinguishing values of how and what, so that in combination, most companies will see the substance defined from behaviors, or more commonly referred to as company values, that every employee should exhibit, no matter where they fit into the organizational chart. You'll see this in the 9-box again as a point of reference at the base of that model, so that now, if one exhibits both the how things are accomplished, heading in the right hand direction, with what gets accomplished going up the chart. You combine the two, and the far right, you have both what and how, serving as a great way of demonstrating total performance. By the way, a word to the wise here. If senior leadership states the importance of values for a company, yet they don't consistently model these behaviors, then cynicism and distrust of leadership inevitably can set in, corroding a company's culture. Thus, having company values for reference provides employees and leaders guidance on how to put some solid anchors to the how side of the performance outcomes. Also, another quick note here. In a future session, we'll explore 360 feedback mechanisms as a means of getting tangible data points to support the how side of employee performance through solicitation of key stakeholder inputs. If done effectively, 360 data provides the tangible what in the measuring of critical, important, demonstrated how behaviors. Make sense? Don't worry about it. We'll cover it in an upcoming 360 session. Achieving success in the workplace involves not only accomplishing tasks, but also considering the manner in which they are executed. The what represents the tangible outcomes, goals achieved, tasks accomplished. It's the quantitative aspect of performance management that often takes center stage. However, placing exclusive emphasis on the what can lead to a tunnel vision approach, overlooking the critical nuances of the how. In other words, the behaviors that matter, that distinguish a company. The how encompasses the methods, attitudes, and collaboration involved in achieving goals. It delves into the process, communication, teamwork, all of these things that contribute to the overall success of a project or initiative. Prioritizing the how fosters a positive work environment. It encourages creativity. It builds strong collaborative teams. It's fundamentally a way in which you define your culture. When striking the right balance, organizations acknowledge that success isn't solely defined by end results, but also by the journey taken to achieve them. Effective leaders recognize the impact of fostering a positive workplace culture, valuing diverse perspectives, and promoting open communication, integrating the what and the how. Performance management is now much more of a holistic approach that not only drives results, but also nurtures a workplace where innovation, collaboration, and employee well being thrive. In this equilibrium, organizations find sustainable success that extends beyond immediate achievements, creating a foundation for enduring cultures to exist. In summary, when implementing a performance management program, ensure the organization balances the value of what gets done with how it's accomplished, ultimately, a total performance management system. The question here is, can this combination of metrics, creative, what, and how, all those elements be placed into some sort of automated system? Stay tuned. We'll explore that in the upcoming session on automating performance management. See you then.